Right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Receiver Colin Andrew, and today is the Chopping Block episode 7. Joining me today is the Wizard of NoDQ.com, Mr. Stefan Osborne, and the General, Jerry Slaughter. How are we doing this morning, boys?
Doing good. Fantastic. We're still awake, so that's good.
Yes.
Thank you for putting us on the show, by the way. Normally, we would be having you on our show after running through the NXT party. But this is a real treat. We get to be on the, as Jerry said, the other side of the mirror here.
The bizarro world is what we're in.
So, this is actually kind of an honor because, we inspired you to do the show. So now we get to be on the show and see what's up.
Yeah.
So what's up? What are we talking about today?
I mean, technically it's your second time because we did it once, but we had to record it on your channel. But it's dope to have you both on because I've been on yours countless times between the Radar review and NXT party, takeover reviews, and etc. So now, I don't know. We're just going to talk about today. We're going to talk about a little bit of the recent week in main roster, Raw and SmackDown, and where do we see going forward with the Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman eras on each show? So, two big things this week happened on Raw. Stefan, you look like you're going to say something. No? Okay. So two big things happened on Raw. The first thing that we need to talk about is the return of Bray Wyatt. Right off rip. I know I discussed this in my last episode, but I want to hear your takes on it too, because it is such an awesome moment because they've been building this up for how long now, and the way it paid off, I thought went over excellent.
Go ahead.
You go ahead and go first.
Oh, I know you want to talk about the Fiend showing up on Raw and how we need to see Bray Wyatt just coming out as Bray Wyatt, the character from the Firefly Funhouse on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And have two personas going on. You go right ahead with that.
Okay. Well, first off, the whole Fiend being on there going after the Demon Finn Balor just makes plenty of sense at this point, or just Finn Balor in general, because the Demon, anytime he defended the Intercontinental belt, he won. But now Finn Balor, the second he tries to defend the belt as himself, he loses to Shinsuke Nakamura. So I think in the long run, it's either going to be Bray Wyatt or the Fiend even showing that Finn Balor can still be the Demon without the makeup and all the paint and everything, and try to bring that demon out of him, or it's going to be the Demon versus the Fiend. Either way, it's going to be a cool feud.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, I would still like to also see Bray Wyatt just regular old Bray Wyatt just show up on SmackDown. Happy Funhouse colors and everything going. And for
completely different entrance.
Completely different entrance, not acknowledging the Fiend in any way, shape, or form, and have him be on there. I even had the idea at one point, which Stefan says that he would just flat out turn off wrestling in general, is have Bray Wyatt or the Fiend actually win the Intercontinental belt and have Bray Wyatt challenge the Fiend to like an animated Funhouse episode. And just have R-Truth at one point just run through the Funhouse for no apparent reason with a 24/7 belt.
That was my idea, by the way. I said the only way to make that good would be to have an animated R-Truth run through with the 24/7 title.
Yes.
Causing
the distraction and having the Fiend to do the roll-up to Bray Wyatt and have the match win that way. That would just be hilarious.
That's great. Yeah, that would be epic. That or like his little workout routine gimmick coming down with his little headband and spandex and just have like two little 5-pound dumbbells in his hand. But yeah, that'd be great.
The Fiend show up. You're gonna have the Fiend show up against Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Because Balor can eventually come out as the Demon, and you can have a fair match. And you might actually see the Demon's first loss, which would be kind of epic.
Yep.
Probably not as epic as Shinsuke Nakamura's first loss or Asuka's first loss, but still yet pretty epic.
Well, we're probably going to see a continuation of this anyway, because I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but we're getting Smackville on Sunday. Have you guys heard about
I thought it
Smackville?
was Saturday.
Yes, I saw that on NoDQ.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks legit.
That
Right there.
yeah.
There.
That thing.
What was the other big thing that had to happen on Raw, other than Bray Wyatt come back?
Well, we had the new reign from Brock Lesnar kickoff, and then we had at the end of the show, after the 10-man superstar, all-star, whatever, battle royal, Seth Rollins picking up the victory. So we had the main event set for Summerslam. So,
Which is underwhelming, all of it.
I know it is. It truly is. It's like, okay, there's got to be some type of stipulation or something going into this match, because look, this is how many matches we had now. I know this is at least going to be third between them, right?
I think so.
And at least, and
If you count the triple threat that he interjected himself in.
yeah. So I mean,
What
see what happens. I'm hoping some type of stipulation, match. I'm not sure what yet, but just it needs to be something more than just a regular exhibition at this point.
I hope Brock Lesnar wins. And Seth Rollins moves down the card, and they put babyface Braun Strowman, excuse me, and he finally beats Brock Lesnar and takes the title, and beats Brock Lesnar to the point to where he can't come back.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, what the fuck did you just do, making him look like the Kool-Aid Man busting out of that box in that last man standing match? Like, that was some serious writing to give him momentous momentum coming out of that pay-per-view. And for what? To get taken out with Roman Reigns during the Battle Royal? Oh, whatever. Just so we can see Rollins versus Brock too. And I'm not looking forward to it. I hope Brock wins and we see Braun Strowman take the title from him, like he should have a year ago. What about you, Jerry?
I can really give a shit less. With Rollins, he's become more or less a joke at this point, especially with the whole man's man thing. He's above everybody's joke at this point. It's all because of that shit he was pulling with Will Ospreay. If he hadn't done all that, I think they would have just left this alone. But now he's Becky Lynch's bitch, more or less, and that's just not cool.
Well, Maria Kanellis basically called him that.
Yeah. Well, she pretty much called where everybody else thought. So.
Yeah. Where was I going with this? Y'all just said something and it threw me off here.
Consummate professionals.
That's
what we are.
I had to turn the mouse back.
24/7. 24/7.
Oh no, there's a little bit.
I remember what I was going to say now. I just think it's ironic how when Seth Rollins cashed in on the Money in the Bank, he took Lesnar's title without beating him, and then when Karma came around, Lesnar cashed in on Rollins and actually took the title from him.
Yeah.
It kind of came full circle, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm hoping with Paul Heyman being a writer on Raw now and the close relationship that Brock and Paul have, that we'll actually see more of him. Maybe, he can persuade him, like, look, I can make sure this is done, yada, 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 yada. Because, I don't know, I'm just hoping to see more. If he's going to be the champion, I'm just hoping to see more of him than we have in the past.
Well, I think the argument against that is his contract is for a number of dates. And to get him for any more dates, like, they have to pay big money. And he can demand big money. And if he's got the title on him, you don't want to burn all those big dates unless you're going to let him go home and sit out the rest of his contract without having to do anything. I suppose you could do that. You could use a year's worth of dates in a month or two's time, build up towards SummerSlam, and then send them off.
My feeling
I don't know
about this right now is the fact that Brock Lesnar can't have a lot of dates at this point, but Paul Heyman's going to be still prominent on television as one of the writers and producer of the show now. It'd be really great, especially since he's got the makings of it. And I notice I've said this a lot, is I'd love to see a reemergence of the Dangerous Alliance, because he automatically would have Corbin and Lacey in there. And then he just had maybe two other people, and it'd be almost like a gauntlet kind of style thing. It's like, you want a shot at the Universal Champion? That's fine, but you have to go through this set of people in order to do it. You would always have them, pretty much in the way for anybody to face Brock Lesnar in some way, shape, or form. And that would be good story build for one, and two, it's just one of those tales of old time. It's where you have the leader of the group, and then you have his minions, and those minions have to be taken out first.
Conversely, I'm hoping that Paul Heyman distances himself from Brock Lesnar. I don't think it's healthy for him to be in charge of the show and be the advocate for one specific wrestler, especially when not only did everybody know that he's now in charge of the show going in, but he pretty much tipped the hat. He tipped his hat and let everybody know. He's like, everybody knows I'm the guy with the stroke around here now. And I think it negatively affects you storytelling-wise to have him that close to the champ. So I think at some point he needs to break away from Brock Lesnar and just run Raw.
That all sounds very familiar. Who did that before? Oh, yeah, Eric Bischoff.
So send Brock Lesnar to SmackDown without Paul Heyman. Other than that, I think Paul Heyman we've already seen a little bit of his hand on Raw with the Strowman taking Bobby Lashley through the entrance LED board, the explosions and all of that, and then this crazy storyline with the Canellises. I think it's going to be different writing. It's going to be stuff that we haven't seen before because nobody's had the balls to do it. There's a lot of different things and stories and scenarios you can cover now that you used to not be able to cover. Like, you couldn't have a gay wrestler in the 90s when it was the PG-13 era.
Yeah.
You just couldn't. You could now, and you could tell different stories now based off of that. You could get edgy based off of some of the things that you're allowed to do now that you weren't allowed to do back then. A lot of things that you were allowed to do back then that made you edgy, you're not allowed to do now. So you have to be creative, and you're going to see Paul Heyman probably taking things to the edge.
Yeah.
Conversely, I don't think you're going to see the same thing out of Eric Bischoff.
Also, at Heyman, he loves making stars. So basically, I can see a lot of the NXT guys coming to Raw. Like, we've already seen it start with
the Street Profits.
The Street Profits. Granted, they're coming off as really corny right now, but I think once they get in the ring and actually start getting to show what they can do, they're going to be this generation's answer to Harlem Heat. I really do. And with that, he's going to start pushing these other superstars from NXT up, maybe in 205 Live, who knows. But at the same time, I think 205 Live is going to be more Eric Bischoff's territory, since Cruiserweight was like his big thing in WCW for the longest time. He knew how to promote the Cruiserweights. He'd have them peppered throughout the show, and there's just perfect spots for them. Thunder, Nitro, whatever show they were on, they were almost always the highlight of it. And that's something they really need at this point. 205 Live, yeah, great show, but at the same time, not a lot of folk watch it.
And the cruiserweights would have ongoing storylines from show to show. So it wasn't like Raw where they would bring out cruiserweights, but it would just be random guys.
Yeah.
In a random 6-man tag match, and you wouldn't know anything going on other than what they did in the ring, which was sometimes spectacular, but they didn't have the level of cruiserweights that WCW did.
No.
Oh my God, they didn't move into Guerreras.
They didn't have the super crazies. They didn't have anybody.
To this day, probably the craziest move I've ever seen is the 450 splash by Juventud Guerrera, because he does it like nobody else. He pulls him all the way to the corner and he just dives down.
Yeah.
Just drops. And I'm like, how does he not break his neck?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. But
yeah,
for me, I think Eric Bischoff is going to move into this slowly, because everybody was expecting things to change immediately, and they didn't. And really, so far, over the last 3 weeks since the announcement, nothing's really changed. But I think that's where the surprise can happen, is where little things or even big things happen out of nowhere because you're not expecting them. Because by now, you've forgotten that Eric Bischoff is now in charge. What you also have to remember is that there are already writers in place and storylines going on that you can't just nix, and there's no easy way to get out of them really quickly. You have to carry them to the course, and possibly the course is SummerSlam. We might not actually start seeing some heavy Eric Bischoff influence until after SummerSlam.
I mean, that'd be great, and hopefully leading into, what is it, after SummerSlam, we have Survivor Series later in the fall, and is it Hell in the Cell, and normally like Night of Champions or something in September too.
Yep.
Hopefully leading into the new year in the transition with Fox, we start seeing a little bit more out of Bischoff though, because we're switching formats here. Fox is going to want certain things,
Well, he's got 3 months to turn the product into the Fox product. And I think so far it looks like he's going to go slowly with it. Because everybody was expecting SmackDown to be so much different, kind of like Raw was the week before Heyman took over. And next week's going to be a clusterfuck of old superstars. Even in 3 hours' time, they've got a lot of motherfuckers showing up for that reunion.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to see too much Paul Heyman influence in a show that's nothing but old fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these type of shows, you don't really expect much, when I saw the list, and it was, I don't know, at least 30 people on that damn thing, at least. So I don't know if they're just going to do like some big segment where they pan them all in a room or something, but yeah, it was that many people. Nothing's going to happen this week. Maybe something will happen on SmackDown, because I don't think they're going to be doing any reunion on SmackDown this week.
I foresee Shane McMahon's posse growing even more as every heel that comes back for the Raw reunion also joins behind Shane McMahon against all of the baby faces that show up for the Raw reunion. Oh my God, everybody is dealing with Shane right now, and he's dealing with everybody. Wrestle Talk calls him Omni Shane.
Yeah.
Did you see the party he came out with on SmackDown? He had every SmackDown heel with him. Holy crap. They need to finish off whatever they're doing with Shane at SummerSlam and then just let him go away for a while. I never thought I'd say it, but bring back Stephanie. I know everybody hates that, but I like Stephanie.
With Bischoff, everything has always been a slow simmer, and it's usually a very gratifying slow simmer. Yes, yeah. Because you gotta remember that's how the NWO started.
Yeah,
nobody really saw anything coming at all. But then I forgot what match it was, but all of a sudden there was like a little bit of a ruckus going in the crowd, and then there's Scott Hall just walking through the crowd. It's like people were like, what's Razor Ramon doing in WCW? And then, what was it, like a week or two later, Kevin Nash appears. It was like just little seasonings here and there.
Going up to Bash at the Beach.
Yeah, which led to Bash at the Beach, and sure enough, the big surprise of Hogan. So that's what Bischoff does. He doesn't really jam stuff down your throat. Even when he was throwing his HLA and his 3-minute warning shit for a while there, it wasn't anything that was just all of a sudden happening. It was stuff that was being built towards little by little.
I'm not even sure that Bischoff had anything to do with the writing there. I know he was an on-screen character.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure if he was a writer.
But even then, he knew how to ease into it. Like he made it just seem almost seamless. Like this was a natural occurrence to happen on this show.
Two lesbians making out on television. No big deal. It isn't now. But of course, most people's television is YouTube, and you can get chicks making out on YouTube, I'm sure.
I know people are down on the whole idea of him bringing back some WCW type stuff, but something I think has been missing a lot from these shows, or a lot from the product, has been the Lethal Lottery. The Lethal Lottery is one of my favorite things growing up. When you had this whole thing where it was almost like a tag team type tournament with just a hodgepodge of mixed superstars, and it just made for some interesting combinations. Sometimes the tag teams work out, sometimes it wouldn't, and make for another feud.
But if you do it right, you send a lot of storylines away from this tournament.
Yeah. So you get something like that, and then maybe have the tournament winners. They either decide to go for the tag belts or go against each other for maybe some sort of vacated title, or make it a triple threat match for a belt. That would be an interesting way of bringing in some viewers, making some new feuds, and also building up the tag team division at the same time.
Not a bad idea.
Most beep beep.
It'd be kind of nice to see Bischoff touch with the Cruiserweight division too, since he is on SmackDown. It does happen on Tuesdays. I mean, everyone's there. Why not? I mean, I know Triple H is running the product right now, but I think they could collaborate together and figure out something amazing, honestly. And hopefully boost it up.
Right now with NXT UK, even his dealings with WXW, Progress, Evolve. He's got so many hands in the fire at this point. 205 Live is one of those ones where it's just
he'd probably welcome the help.
Yes, he would. As long as it's not from Vince McMahon, he's a happy camper right now.
Yeah, the last thing he wants is Vince's help anymore.
He wants to show he can run the show on his own, and when he does a fantastic job of it. He can pull a takeover show out of his ass in a week and make us all care about it.
Yeah.
And Vince can't do that with 8 hours of fucking program and one of the biggest star-studded stages of in the wrestling world. So
the longest WrestleMania ever.
Yeah. And there's maybe 2 hours of great content.
Yeah. Because, let's see, there's at least 4 hours of entrances and video packages.
Mm-hmm.
So they can cut that shit down. Because I don't know about you guys, but I can watch a lot of wrestling, but sitting there for an 8-hour show, start to finish, it's just that's an entire. That's a normal
work for me. No.
Yeah, usually when I put in 8 hours to something, I get paid for it.
Yeah.
I said that's like a full day of work right there.
I better be either getting paid for it or be able to put it into a bowl with rice.
There's a lot of things you can put into a bowl of rice.
But slow cooked meat's the best stuff on the planet.
Oh, okay. 8 hours of slow cooked meat.
Yes.
Giggity.
Giggity. Yeah, man. So you guys, obviously, if you're watching this video, you probably seen me on their video, so you know they discuss NXT. How do you guys feel coming into Takeover Toronto? I know you guys are going to be there. Like, what are you guys predicting? Anything for the card? Anything like that?
Well, my prediction is that the third fall for Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole is going to end up being a Falls Count Anywhere.
For me, I think it's going to be first fall is going to be. I think the first fall is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. Then the second fall will be a submission match. Then the third fall, if they need it to be, will probably be either ladder or steel cage. It'll have to end in the ring. Yeah, I figured that'd be the best course of action. But steel cage, that'd be kind of a hard setup. Quick setup would be ladder match. Have the belt already suspended in the air. Regal would just call for the say, okay, ladder match, go.
You know, adding a ladder match in there would be epic.
It'd be a third fall for them. Everybody automatically say Cole because of the North American belt.
If anything, I would say Gargano would request a submission match, and Cole would request a ladder match, and then Regal would say Falls Count Anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Cole would probably call for the Falls Count Anywhere because like that way he can take him back to the back.
Yeah, but Johnny Gargano was the one that drug him out into the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I would say he wouldn't want a Falls Count Anywhere because he was getting beat down by Gargano the whole time they were going everywhere around Full Sail. Going with logic here, Jerry.
Yep.
So I gotta disagree. But you might be right. For all I know, you might be right.
Yeah.
What about you, Colin? What do you think the falls are going to be?
Dude, so I'm on board with the submission match, like for sure. Either a no disqualification or a Falls Count Anywhere would be great. And then I honestly would like to see third fall in a steel cage. That's what I would like to see. I know it might be hard to set up, and it might be, might be a spoiler if it's hanging up. But at the same time, have it hang up.
The show.
Yeah. But
it doesn't mean it has to come down.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same steel cage that we're used to seeing at Full Sail, I doubt. Well, if it was, then it wouldn't be a spoiler.
No.
But it would be a long time in between the second fall and the third fall for them to set that cage up. Like a long time.
Yes. That is precision cage.
So it would kind of have to be one that hangs from the ceiling. And if you could keep the crowd at home from seeing that the cage is hanging there. So you could keep it as a surprise for the home viewer, but for us live, we're going to know as soon as we get there that the final fall, the final match of the night is going to be in the steel cage.
That's why I make a little more sense.
Yeah.
Because they
just thing though.
After.
We don't know that maybe General Manager William Regal, he could announce it beforehand, like the go home show. He could announce the third fall if needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they could do that.
So if it's advertised, it wouldn't kill anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Checkmate. You win.
But undercard wise, I'm already seeing Baszler versus Yem. I'm seeing Profits versus Undisputed Era. Definitely Killian Dane versus Matt Riddle at this point.
And Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is this going to be the clinch of gold for the Undisputed Era?
It would be amazing to end the night live, watching all four of them on the stage with all four belts.
And Noah Foster.
or imagine if it was a cage, one on each corner of the top of the cage, holding up a belt.
Oh, God, dude, that would be fucking awesome.
I think that would be the only reason why I'd want that steel cage to be there.
It wouldn't be as awesome now that I can imagine it. I'll be like, oh yeah, remember when Colin said that was going to happen?
It's like, look at the prediction champion over here. Ooh.
Yeah. Get some points with that.
I know, right? There we go. I gotta defend my title that night too. So, yeah, I agree with you guys on that card. It'd be a really good card. Who do you think we might see in the crowd that night, though? Who do you think's the new? We saw what happened.
I don't know if we see anybody in the crowd, honestly, because they've had so many people come in fresh. All these guys in the breakout tournament, all these other guys that we're hearing about just because they've gotten new names. And like there's this new name breakout going on in NXT right now. I know some of these people are going to filter to NXT UK, but for right now, this influx is a lot. And I don't know if there's room for even one more like specific main event star. Honestly, I think we have gotten our fill. Everybody's moved up in the card, and the lower card is slowly being filled by this breakout tournament.
Yeah.
So we may not get anybody in the crowd other than maybe some legends or some WWE main roster people. We might see some of them, but as far as a new NXT signee, they're still pretty high on Kushida.
To paraphrase a Greek comedian, Stefan, you ignorant slut. Let me tell you people what's going on. That whole weekend, we're going to have WXW shows, we're going to have Ring of Honor shows, we're going to have a whole bunch of different indie shows up there. So if there's going to be any kind of new signees or anything, that's going to be the night they get kind of introduced. That are just NXT UK stars as well. So I'm thinking possibly Walter even in the audience just sitting there watching.
But he wouldn't be a new NXT signing.
Yeah, but I think he'd be in attendance for the show and probably in the front row.
I just don't think they have any more contracts to give out right now.
It's just,
or maybe they're supposed to give out as many as they can to keep people from going to AEW.
Just have Will Ospreay show up at SummerSlam.
I mean, it's the second biggest pay-per-view weekend of the year. So you would think there would be some new signees, but not necessarily. We've seen NXT takeovers where there hasn't been any new signees in the crowd.
Yeah.
Where it's just been people from the main roster showing up to watch, like Finn Balor or Charlotte Flair.
I think at this point, with the main roster and NXT and even 205 at this point, they're going to try to show Vince that they can make superstars out of people they have versus bringing anybody else in at this point.
Right. You know, you had Tyler Breeze come back.
Yeah.
And you've got a slew of underused superstars on both main product show that could come back.
Oh, Apollo Crews, his match with Kushida the other night was just...
Yeah, that actually made us entertained by Kushida for the first time since he showed up in NXT. So go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're kind of sending some people back to NXT. It's refreshing.
I don't think they're being sent there. I'm thinking they're asking to go back there at this point.
Regardless.
Let us back in, Daddy. We have laundry.
That's good shit. Such good shit. Oh, man.
What way to go, Vince?
Way to go. Yeah. It's sad when people used to dream of being in the main roster, and now it's just like, no, don't send us. You know, it's like that scene from Billy Madison when he grabs the kid's cheeks. Stay here. Stay as long as you can. Like,
I've seen that meme with EC3, so that actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that's great. That's good stuff, man. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to go to Toronto and experience all this. So
Well, let's be our first time out of the country, dude. I'm stoked about that.
It'll be my first time in Canada. I've been to Mexico.
Whole other story there.
Well, that was a vacation to Texas, but we crossed the border into Mexico because they have really cheap souvenir places. And then we crossed back. Got some great souvenirs, though. You can get cheap-ass silver in Mexico, let me tell you. Cool. But yeah, that's another.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, man. So, touch on SmackDown real quick, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. So, Randy Orton pinning Kofi Kingston. Does that put him in line for a title match? Is this what we're gonna get?
Yes, this is weekend.
It's SmackDown. Everything is there for a purpose. And this is hopefully going to lead to one-on-one Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston at SummerSlam. Because ever since Kofi won the championship, the biggest match they could do is to revisit him versus Orton. Because now everybody's internet smart. And everybody knows that there was that backstage heat with Orton that took Kofi out of the main event picture. And this is the biggest guy they could put him in the ring with, and they're doing it at the second biggest show of the year. I'm all for this. As Wrestle Talk would say, yes, please. Yes, please.
I see, because we have a triple threat match at that Smackville thing.
Yeah, but that's not going to end in a problem. I don't know.
I think that can go many different ways. I really do. Like, they could actually do a surprise element where the belt gets dropped by Kofi there. I know it's a stretch, but at the same time, you got Ziggler and Samoa Joe in that match. So, any three of those competitors, I think, would be a worthy world title holder at this point.
I just think they need to build toward Kofi versus...
Oh, Kofi versus Orton's going to sell regardless. Like, belt or not. But at the same time, yeah, they're probably going to keep Kofi with the belt because they're making such a big deal about the whole New Day having all the belts.
Now, maybe you could drop it to Orton and Kofi goes into SummerSlam as the challenger, but I don't think you have enough weeks to build up for that.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think at this point, if anything happens with, like, the world title and the tag team titles, it's going to be, they're going to try to do a Freebird rule, probably with the tag titles, and they're going to say they have to do the same thing with the world title as well. And then Kofi won't even have to lose the belt in order to lose the belt.
I don't know.
That's real far-fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's a Jerry special.
That's what we like to call Jerry Sleep Deprived special. But if for some reason that does happen, yay, Sleep Deprived Jerry.
It's generally ridiculous. That's what that is.
It's general knowledge.
General knowledge. That's great. So, I mean, I don't see him losing the title, though, at this Smackville deal, though, because...
Yeah, exactly.
Because of two things. Like, one, like, I'm going to go there, so just get ready for it. Like, how his title reign has been so significant because he was the first black WWE champion. I don't see them ending that specific reign on a fucking house show at a live WWE network.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
I mean, an advertised house show. They're not going to do that. They're not going to, you know, it being such a statement for the, I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a dick, but for the black community of pro wrestling, how he was the one who achieved that. We all saw the video of MVP at the bar balling when he won that. You know, how everyone was so proud. It was like when Ron Simmons won it back in the day, how everyone was so proud. Like, I don't think they're going to tarnish that moment by having him drop it on a house show.
We can't
advertise.
Yeah, Kofi needs to hold it till SummerSlam, defeat Randy Orton, close that chapter, and then after that, you can have somebody defeat Kofi Kingston and take the title. But not till he beats Orton. Not once they've already set it up, and they've already set it up.
Yeah.
So everybody's already talking about it. It's too late now. We got to do it at SummerSlam, and I'm cool with that. Like, if somebody would have told me a year ago that I was going to SummerSlam and Randy Orton was going to be main eventing for the title, I'd have been like, ugh, again. But now I'm like, because it's versus Kofi, and there's actual, like, legitimate story here. I'm all for this.
Mm-hmm.
But Kofi's got to win. And then you can close the storybook and be like, that was success. And now he can lose the title, and we can move on from him being the first, and someday we'll have the second.
Yeah.
And
He may even be the second.
Yeah, he may even be the second and the third, but it doesn't matter.
He can be the first
Or
two times.
maybe break up New Day and Big E.
Yeah, Big E takes it.
Second.
Everybody's all big on Big E being the heel that takes it off Kofi. I think it's going to be Xavier Woods.
I think if it's Xavier Woods, he's not going to take the title off of Kofi.
Yeah, I think he'll try like hell, and he'll probably be like the perpetual thorn, like Kofi's side. But I don't think he'll called off him.
But I could see Big E doing it.
Yeah. The WWE title in New Day is the closest that Xavier Woods is ever going to get to it. So,
yeah.
I mean, what were you saying, Jerry?
Oh, nothing important. I was just saying, Big E's kind of injury prone compared to the other members of the New Day. So I'm not really sure how that would work out.
Well, Xavier is prone to having X-rated videos leaked of him, so.
Or vomiting in the ring.
But then again, CM Punk was once prone to shitting himself live match.
Yep.
So, and look where he turned out. That pipe bomb, there was a reason it smelled so funny. Anyway.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this episode today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's nice being on the other end of the spectrum, I guess. You know, it's fun. It's nice. Hopefully we can do this again. You guys got some plugs for me?
Yeah. So thank you for having us on. I don't have to say it for both of us. You can say it too.
The pleasure was all ours, Colin.
Yes, Colin, the pleasure was all yours and theirs.
They got to hear us.
Okay, so as Colin said, we do our own show, and he's been on it, and we'd like you to be on it. So find us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, or leave a comment down below, and Colin will let us know if you want to be on our show. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at nodq.com/Stefan. That's Stefan. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, Osborne. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at NoDQ Journal, and also my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR, exclamation point. See, even on this show, we still are bitch.
Yeah, you can also follow me on Instagram. Instagram at osborne.stefan, and please support our channel, Aftermatch Wrestling, all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. We are on our way to 100 subscribers, and we would like your help to get there. So subscribe and share us with your friends, and maybe they'd like to subscribe as well.
Yep. NoDQ.com/shirts or whatever.
Oh yeah, NoDQ.com/shirts.
Yeah.
And you can't get this shirt just yet. I think a lot of the shirts are going to transfer over, but
to Teespring.
There are some new shirts on Teespring, and you can go there now and get NoDQ.com shirts. I believe the shipping is cheaper.
Yep.
So that's good.
$3.99.
And as we said, we'll be in Toronto, so go to NoDQ.com/Toronto, and that'll tell you about the meetup.
We'll eventually know where we're eating.
On August 11th at 11 a.m. somewhere. somewhere in Toronto. That's our plug.
Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto. Oh yeah.
Toronto.
Toronto.
Great White
Yes.
North.
What? No. You're going to be king of the North. No, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Colin26Andrew. You can support my channel, support these guys' channel. Again, the Teespring link is teespring.com/NoDQCom. So head on over there and get a couple T-shirts or a mug or a hoodie or a ball cap or whatever you damn well please. $3.99 shipping, an extra $3.99 for express shipping. So not bad. Thank you again, gentlemen, for having I'm not used to saying having me on. So thanks for joining me.
Early on, dude. Calm down. You guys are awesome.
So for the wizard, Stefan Osborne, for the general, Jerry Slaughter, I'm the Cleaver. Thanks for joining us, and catch us next time on the Chopping Block.